My favorite is when she like looks at the camera. She just goes like that tough look. She goes,
Yeah,
she gives
yeah.
her hand. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
because I see that in wrestling
She
all the
watched that
time.
in Alexa Bliss Titantron.
Yeah, we're just gonna start this shit live.
The only time I caught the Holy Ghost was when I was in church drinking.
Like they're two dumb dudes. Welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast.
I say you
The
stay
ultras
stacked
are-
with the ultras.
No, they're here because my dad. Like I don't drink them. My dad, whenever he comes over, he always wants his Mick Ultras, so I always buy a bunch. Then he drinks a couple.
So is the top row yours? Because I only see one can that's turned around.
Now the top row. Well, this is a non-alcoholic beer that I grabbed from Saudi Arabia last time I was there.
Okay.
And then I got something that's from some local Florida one. I actually haven't been drinking as much lately at home. Like usually if I'm out, I'll have a drink. But at home, rarely. I maybe, sip on a little something like from the liquor cabinet, but
Yeah. See, I had I don't drink, bro. Rarely ever. And it's like very in a social setting.
yeah.
But I was in Portland, I think.
Yep.
Portland, and met a couple guys after a show and had 3 drinks. But that first drink, dude,
Yeah.
it was like it was a shot of like tequila. Like one shot. And I had eaten, bro. I ate all day, so I knew I had food in my stomach. But that first shot, because again, I don't drink often. But that little shot, bro, rocked my life. I was like, holy shit. I had to sit down for like the first 30 minutes. And I was like, all right, before I got the next one, I was like, what is going on?
Dude, there was one time I was at a bar in New York. I think it was in Manhattan or some shit like that, near Times Square. And Michael Shea from SNL was there. He's a huge wrestling fan and shit like that. So at one point he was buying everyone like shots, whatever. So I was like, hey, what do you want? What kind of drink you want? I was like, just let me get a shot of Hennessy. He looked at me, he was like,
what the
what?
Hennessy, bro?
Yeah. Well, I like as far as shots go, I like taking shots of Hennessy. I don't really take a shot of anything else. Maybe some whiskey but yeah.
See, I'll do whiskey and tequila. Hennessy, that just brings me back to when I was 21 and did a show, NWS, NWS, Florida, Jersey.
Yeah.
And 21. So I'm like, yo, I want to go out, I want to hang out. My uncle and my mom was like, yo, we'll take you to the strip club. And cool, I don't care. They know the ins and outs. They'll pay for it and all that. Yeah. So I do the show. I jet back as fast as I can. And I mean, like already my uncle's a big Hennessy guy. Like my mom's a big Bacardi Patron and all that shit. I don't even know. But my uncle is a big Hennessy guy. And I had no idea about drinking, bro. Like I'm 21, yes, but I'm pretty innocent at this point. Because again, I'm an athlete, bro. I'm an athlete. I'm an amateur wrestler and take care of my shit. But 21, like I thought that's what you had to do. So I take a couple shots with my uncle and my mom. I was already getting wrecked. And they take me to, bro, you ever been to cheerleaders in Philadelphia on the other side?
I feel like I've heard of it though.
It's pretty skanky. It's nasty.
I think I've seen the sign,
brother. So if you go by the ECW arena, you have to pass cheerleaders.
Yeah.
So I go in. All I remember, dude, 2 white boys just chilling in the one side, and then this like couple. Like it is a Saturday.
Yeah.
But nobody goes to cheerleaders, bro. Especially not at 10:30 at night. Because like again, I jetted home after this show. I wanted to hang out as long as I could.
Yeah.
Dude, my uncle went to the bar, 21 shots of Hennessy.
Oh, good Lord.
I remember the first 3. And then I wake up, my pants are halfway down. I'm in the car, bro, by the way. My pants are halfway down, throw up everywhere. No one's around me. I'm like, where's everybody at? I look, we're at a diner. My uncle and my mom are in the diner eating like nothing happened as I'm like disgusting in the back. And I go, what the fuck happened? They're like, yeah, you took all them shots. And then all of a sudden you're hanging out with those white boys, the 2 white boys. And then the couple came over and they bought you guys dances. And next thing you know, like the stripper was dancing on you and you threw up. I was like, did I throw up on her? They're like, no, but you aimed at her. And I was like, what? So yeah, ever since then, bro, I've never had Hennessy. It was so like just traumatizing, bro. I mean, I've probably had it, honestly, but not to that extent of alcohol poisoning that I got that day.
Well, speaking of crazy nights where you might need a drink, that Might explain this movie that we watched, but before
Brother.
we get into that, welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. It's your boy Sarat, aka Makazi, and today my guest host is a good friend. You know, a brother between the ropes. You know, you might have seen him all over the indie circuit up north, down here in Florida. You might have seen him on television, WWE television on 205 Live. You know, he likes to bring the party. Lucha House Party to be exact. We got my boy Lince Dorado. What up, man?
What's up, baby? The Lucha Lit one is in the house, and we're gonna be talking about this crazy ass movie I suggested. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't like, bro. I don't know what was coming across your mind when you picked this movie, because
Okay,
I don't know if I would never have come across this movie in my life.
I don't even know. So I was like, let me look up a horror movie. Maybe that's kind of something exciting. And you said Amazon Prime, so I was like, they got some obscure shit there. I gotta fucking find something. And I love bad movies. I'm not saying this movie was bad, but I was purposely looking for like a terrible looking movie. And then when I saw that Snoop Dogg was in it, yeah, that's what I said, bro. That's my same reaction. When I saw Snoop Dogg was in it, I was like, is he the main character? This has got to be awesome. This has, and his horror is a Hood of Horrors. I was like, this has to be fucking amazing. And then surprisingly, I enjoyed it as crazy as it was, bro. I don't know about you, but I did.
Well, the movie we watched this week, obviously Lince picked it out. It's on Amazon Prime. It's Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horrors, and yeah, it's essentially a collection of stories, you know, centered around horror. Kind of like Tales from the Hood or Tales from the Crypt kind of thing.
That's exactly what I thought.
So I'm when you sent it to me, I'm like, oh, these type of movies are my bread and butter. I love movies like this for the pod because these are the ones that are in the cut. They're laying deep in streaming. You can one late night, you're just sipping on something, smoking on something, whatever, and you're coming across and you're like, what the hell is this? And you might just have the time of your life, and I might have had the time of my life with this one.
I'm not gonna lie. So I decided, I was like, yo, if my kids want to watch it with me, my boys, and my boys are a little bit older, very mature. So I didn't mind them watching something so crazy with me. They lasted 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I gave them the premise of like, daddy likes bad movies. So this might be like one of those really bad movies, bad acting, bad graphics, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll talk about it, but the first 40 minutes, they were into it. Like phones down. They were like, I thought you said this was bad. I was like, hey, you think this is good? Shit, I think it's good too. So maybe they got bad judgment too when it comes to movies. But no, but personally, I like the art. The art caught me too. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. The graphic that they use as the cover on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
you don't see a lot of orange, and like I don't know. Snoop Dogg just kills it, I guess. And again, just having Snoop Dogg in that, I was like, yeah, I gotta watch this. Like, what is this about?
But here's the thing, not just Snoop Dogg. There's a lot of people.
Bro, I was like, is this what kind of movie is this now?
If you just took the cast and you said, oh, they got this movie, it's got Ernie Hudson, it's got Diamond Dallas Page,
bro.
You got Aries Spears, Jason Alexander. I was like, Anson Mount. I was like, man, it's got a lot of people in it. Then I watched it. I'm like, somebody get blackmailed? Like, well, how long? Like, did they just I got a free Saturday. Let me go do this thing with my friends.
I don't know. I thought everybody killed it in movies. I totally forgot that all those dudes were in that stuff. Yeah, that one. So there's different, like how you said, like Tales from the Hood, right? Everybody has like a different story. I didn't think it was necessarily scary. I thought it was more like the consequences were scary. Like,
I think I felt like they were just trying to do like a gory movie set in the hood.
Yeah,
because you don't normally see gore like that, and other than like gunshots, you don't really see like that little crazy blood splatters and stuff. Because most black movies don't really go.
So I'm gonna give one little spoiler. It doesn't give a spoiler or anything, but
we spoil everything. So just go.
Okay. So right before this scene, I'm about to tell you. I tell my son, like like you just said, there's gunshots, drive-bys, and all that, and I was like, yeah, but that's the hood back in the day. Like I'm so like cold to it because I've like actually lived it, that when I see the movies, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like how it is. And then the next thing you know, the guy is running with his 40 and trips. And then he fucking swallows it and it goes to the back. And my son goes, "Does that happen in the hood too?" And I was like, well, not that maybe, but fucking, you know what I mean. But it was just like the timing of it was just so funny. And just him like turning like, I don't think that happens in the hood, you lying son of a bitch.
Bruh, he imagine dying with a 40 going through your head because you stole like $25 from someone.
Bro, so in my head, I'm like, okay, maybe he's tripping and get it curb stomp himself. Like not stop, but you know, like
Yeah.
fuck. And I don't know what the hell. So whoever came up with the idea that yo, dude's gonna fucking get impaled by the 40.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah,
Genius.
yeah.
Like,
I feel like these are the type of movies you make when you're like in high school, you got film class. You're like, oh, we got like this weekend, let's get the boys together. We're gonna film some shit. I remember you sending me videos of, standing on the ladder, jumping
Yep.
off and shit like that.
yeah.
That's exactly
Hey,
what it reminds me of.
But they had more money and they had Snoop Dogg. I had Serpentico and my boys with me, Jason Kate. Oh
Okay.
my
I
God.
mean, clearly, if you're listening to our discourse right now, it's not a great movie, but it sounds like we both like it. Because I liked it. I'd watch this thing, on a late night again just to make myself laugh.
Oh, there's got to be things I missed. I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's like one of those things that I'll be like on a plane and it's on the iPad because I watched it last.
You'd watch this on a plane. You wouldn't be worried about the people behind you. Like, hey, what's this motherfucker watching?
Hell no, I've watched worse things on the plane, bro. I'm sure somebody'd be like, "What the heck are you watching?" I'm like,
Last week I did an episode for Drive Away Dolls, and I tried watching it on a plane, and 2 minutes into the watching, I was like, oh, let me turn this off. Let me wait till I get home to watch this. I don't know if I want the old
"You
lady.
got that first class? Come on, man. You know nobody ain't looking at you."
Bro, I forget where I was coming from. I think I was coming from Germany or some shit. But yeah.
Oh,
But bro, yeah. All right. Before we get into the talking about the movie, as per usual on the podcast, I like to ask my guests a specific question. So, Lince, what you sipping on?
actually, I'm shipping. I'm sipping on this. Like I said, I don't drink, but every once in a while I indulge in some soda, little soda, little. And I got a little cola champagne India, the original.
Oh, hell yeah!
You know what I'm saying? But I put it in my Pikachu cup. Bam, my son got it for me.
Bro, that cola champagne, that reminds me of like Coco Rico.
Cocorico. Yeah.
I used to drink that when I was younger. What's up?
Which one you like better?
Coco Rico. I don't know. It reminds me, like when I was younger, I used to drink that. I used to drink like the coconut water that always tastes like a tin can because it had that line where the metal connected. Maltas. I used to have Maltas when I was little.
Bro, I love Maltas.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like it, but like
I'm like, how don't you like it? Like it is I don't know. Like I've been drinking it forever, obviously. But not a lot of people like it. Do you like the Goya? Do you like the India? Which one do you like? Do you like cans, bottles?
So I like bottles, but I like the Goya.
Yeah. The Goya?
Yeah, I like the Goya.
I think as long as it's the bottle, I don't really care. The cans, I taste the aluminum.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That was the same thing with the coconut water. Like you could buy coconut water, it tastes fine, but there's one specifically, I forget what it's called. It's like a tall, skinny white can, but you can taste the aluminum in the coconut water.
You ever had water in a can?
I mean, other than like liquid death or some shit like that.
No, like just straight water from a can.
No,
it's weird. There's a place in Colorado that in the back, instead of giving bottles of water, they give cans of water.
Well, no, I mean that's what liquid death is like. They got regular, just still water in the can, but it's supposed to look like a beer can.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sipping on. I got my usual coffee because I always.
How you like your coffee?
So I usually drink my coffee black, but today got a little Irish coffee. That means there's might be a little bit of Buffalo Trace in here.
Bro, I haven't had coffee or like true caffeine.
Yeah.
Bro, probably
I drink way too much coffee. Like
probably like 4 years, honestly.
I got a water dispenser at the house. Ooh. And like it's easier because I could just toss my reusable water bottles in there and just fill it up and guzzle. But for some reason, you gotta
put like cucumbers in your water, bro.
Yeah. Well, I just like I like cold plain water.
Cold though, not room temperature.
I'll drink room temperature. Like I have no problem with it. But if I have a choice, I'll drink it cold.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, like because I got the water dispenser, but it also has like the hot water function. So I just end up making coffee most of the time. I just get some instant.
Like it dispenses hot water.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah,
Damn, I would
it's
make
cooking.
ramen noodles all day, bro.
Bro,
I'm not saying that because you're here. I'm not. I'm just saying that's what I would use hot water for.
listen. We grew up, in not the most affluent settings, so I understand.
Yeah, appreciate. Don't want to get
Speaking of
canceled.
non-affluent settings, so this movie, it's really set in the hood, and it's three different stories. So we'll probably go through each film a little
Yeah.
bit because each one has a distinct setting and story to it. And I'm curious to see what your take is on some of them because that's okay. So this first one, it's like about street.
Can we say this first? How it starts? Because it
With
confused
the
me.
animation?
Yeah, it confused me first, bro. At first, I was like, "Damn, is this an animated movie?" I'm not mad. Even my son was like, "Yo, I'm not mad at that." I was like, "I'm not mad at that either," just because the storytelling, the graphics,
Yeah.
the actual animation was clean. It wasn't like a.
Hey, hold on, Jesse. Calm
Um,
down.
It was fire. That's how they transition, I think, between each story back to real life. It was cool. It was so cool.
It felt like a cutscene in a video game a little bit, like,
Yes.
with the way it was animated.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I was watching. I was like, oh, like maybe this is like an animated like horror, like scary movie that just Snoop Dogg does the voice to.
Yeah. And that first like 5 minutes with the guy taking his life. Well, no, it ended up being Snoop Dogg. Like his story to give his life so his sister can come back. The only thing I was confused was, did he shoot his sister or did his sister get shot? Because his mom was really pissed at him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't remember. I gotta rewatch that opening again. I just remember when he was fighting the big ass fucking devil.
Yo, almost like some Spawn shit. It was like a
Yeah.
lot of things mixed, bro. Like,
Yeah.
be my henchman and spread my, wisdom and shit. I was like, damn, this is Snoop Dogg's movie? Hold on. And he also is rapping in between, like especially at the end. I thought that was cool. Like, I was like, is it just a big Snoop Dogg rap video, bro?
Do you think he put up the money for this project?
Bro, look at the credits. He was on a lot of things. Like, he wasn't just starring in that bitch, producing. Like, he did a lot. So I'm sure, it was his
just like a labor of love.
tax credit. Tax
I mean,
write-off.
hold on. Hey, it's just the UPS guy.
He asked his friends,
Yeah.
was like, yo, you want to be in this movie on Saturday?
Yeah.
And then after we'll come and chill.
'Cause I don't know why Jason Alexander would show up in a movie like this. Just because he played that was it like the record mogul?
Yeah.
And he was just there for like one scene. He had a weird accent. All right, but the first story, it's about this girl named Posey. I think Posey.
Mhm.
And she's like a graffiti artist, whatever.
Yep.
And it had the fucking what is it? I don't know his name. I think what was his name in Fast and Furious? Because he was in Fast and Furious and he was in
He's the Cholo character, bro. He's
Yeah.
the Cholo character. Insert Cholo here. Not little Cholo.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out.
essentially they're all doing like they're all doing graffiti and then
They're just tagging their turf.
and they get
And then-
mad and then they tagged over her stuff, vice versa. She ends up dying and then coming back. No, did she die or did she gets the power? She gets the
Yeah,
power.
she gets the power, yeah.
To cross them out. So it's like Death Note.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It was Death Note. So basically what happens was she gets pissed at, or they get pissed that she tags over her thing or their thing, and they start running, and she escapes, or she thinks she escapes until this like fucking creepy
Danny
creepy
Trejo?
like,
That was Danny Trejo.
yeah. Creepy. His ass was like, yo, I'm gonna give you some power to change the world, and basically knocks her the fuck out. I think it power slams her or some shit, and gives her this sick ass La Parker tattoo on her hand, dude. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
It is La Parker fucking tattoo, basically on.
That was like that was like the hand that would allow her to like tag crazily, but it put like specific like powers into her paint. But here's the thing about Danny Trejo: you got this movie where it's like it's not the greatest special effects, better than anything I could do, but the makeup effects are very low budget. But then you got Danny Trejo, where you're like, we might not even need to put any makeup on.
Yeah, they put so much on them. Gave them teeth, gave them fucking shitty skin, like shittier skin. I'm
I know.
not
I was
saying
like,
that it's got.
yeah. I was like, yeah, just let the man, just let Danny Trejo look like Danny Trejo.
Yeah,
Yeah. Man, yeah,
tattoo.
she just comes around and starts like, crossing out all her fucking ops for lack of
Did
a
you
better
see?
term.
Did you see when they cross them out? You were talking about it, but the shitty graphics of the bubbles.
Yeah, the bubbles on the blood. It was like it's
Yeah.
like blood paint.
Yeah, blood paint, but it doesn't drip. It just
Yeah.
fucking bubbles.
I want to know, like, yeah, you think you could get that kind of effect just to to put it into Premiere?
Oh yeah, bro,
Yourself?
that's super easy. Yeah, like little warp, little fucking spiral. You could even find something on. You know what I usually do, bro? I go on YouTube and go green screen bubble effect or like melting effect,
Yeah.
and just overlay it.
Yeah,
Change
yeah.
the opacity, blend it.
Yeah, I
That's
got a couple. I got a couple of it's like it's like special effects packs that I downloaded, and I got them in my Premiere. So sometimes I'll try to do like
You
superpowers.
don't use After Effect. You gotta use After Effect, bro.
I mean,
That-
you're better at that. I'm so when I was in school, I used to learn editing on Avid. So that's just Premiere is just a better version of Avid and shit like that. But I never.
what did I have? I had a Sony Vegas or something like that.
Sony Vegas.
Yeah, it's something bad. And then Final Cut, I had a Mac out for a while. Final
Yeah.
Cut was good.
Yeah,
I like Adobe products. I feel like they're super universal.
yeah. I mean, Final Cut, like they what movie did they edited this movie on Final Cut? It was like something with Josh Hartnett. Something like
I feel like back in the day, a lot of shit was edited on Final Cut.
yeah.
I
Well,
think that's what.
I used to use that, and I used to use like Final Draft for like writing scripts and shit like that.
Oh yeah, draft, Final Draft.
All right, but could you see yourself making like this movie? Like, what did you connect with Posey's story? Because like essentially she's just trying to get back at these people, but it's all about graffiti. There's not really much.
Well, at the end, the dude wanted her to make the right decision instead of killing motherfuckers. He wanted her to like keep it like clean, and because like that's why at the end when she starts writing on the blank canvas, he was like, instead of writing on the blank canvas, you should have did some good with it, like not
Yeah.
cause beef and shit.
Yeah.
I thought the story. I mean, like personally, it was like Death Note in the hood for me.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was cool. The tattoo was cool. The acting. I mean, personally, I like the acting just because of how cheesy it was, but it was pretty bad acting, bro.
My
Like,
favorite is when she's like looks at the camera, she just goes like that tough look. She goes,
yeah,
her
yeah.
hand. I'm like, that's because I see that in wrestling.
She
all the
watched that
time.
in Alexa Bliss Titantron. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, she was like, well, I need to show. And by doing, I mean, yeah, I guess you show. No, you don't even show the whole hand unless you gotta
Yeah.
like turn her wrist like that. That's so awkward.
But I mean,
Uh,
like, the idea that like if you got special powers, and they're giving you the choice whether you can go back and like get revenge on the people that wronged you, or you
Yeah.
can use these powers for good. And pretty much, she used them just to get back at the people who wronged her. So in doing so, it led to her, having to pay the ultimate price herself.
Get got. She ended up being her art, like live art. I think they
Yeah,
said.
but that last mural, it was like everybody clapped like, "Oh my god, this is beautiful!" That shit,
That shit was like just red.
the big
like,
red splotch.
blah.
It looked like
I mean, I
looked like
guess it
when they
was
tried to
her.
Well, it looked like when someone tries to paint like a cityscape, like
Yeah,
graffiti city. But yeah, like they just didn't finish.
they didn't finish. That's what it looked like. It didn't finish.
Yeah, but everybody
Okay.
clapped like it was amazing. And then the
Hey man,
next,
art's subjective, bro.
listen, what's your favorite type of art?
I don't.
Clearly,
I
performance
could
art.
appreciate art for what it is, like for any kind of genre, but
Yeah.
I think there's a limitation to what you would consider to be like art, and I guess I don't want to say like temporary art, like just flash in the pan, like hey, it's cool now, but like nobody will give a shit about it
Yeah.
30 years from now versus somebody like shit that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Not a lot of modern stuff now is relevant because nobody is
I mean,
dedicated.
Well, you'll get some of your street artists out there. You get like Basquiat, you'll get Banksy, Shepard Fairey, where they have artwork that like when you go to a museum and you see it, it's got a distinct, modern feel to it, but it's also like it's of the street,
Yeah.
Because like I was in Berlin last week and like just seeing some of the statues and stuff there, and I'm just like,
That's
man, like that's the stuff that'll stand the test of time. And I
yeah,
guess
because that's nobody ain't gonna move it.
yeah,
No, but for real, that's a craft. Like even that marble making, like uh all those old like Roman and Greek statues, like how super realistic they look if you go actually up close and you'd be like, damn, somebody actually made that by hand
yeah.
and
I was
sober.
you don't know, they might not have been.
I don't know,
What they was
probably
on back
not.
then.
Motherfucker was just like
But no,
tink,
I mean,
tink, 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 tink.
dude, fucking
Working on the fucking wiener and shit.
well, I saw a picture of like the statue of David, and
Yeah,
like when you see a picture of it, it looks cool. But then when you are up close, you realize like the head is like almost the size of a person. Like,
yeah.
it's a giant statue. It's
Yeah,
someone
that's what
just
I'm
standing there.
saying. It's great. And it's one person like that.
Yeah.
People don't understand. One person does that. And he's got multiple projects, like
Mhm.
not just one project. That's
Yeah,
just one that everybody knows about.
yeah,
Like, that's crazy, bro.
yeah,
I would, that's how I view my gear. Like, anything I make right now, maybe before I used to view it as like just gear.
yeah,
But like now I'm like, it's art, because at the end of
yeah,
the day, people, millions of people are seeing it. I want to make sure that each piece does stand the test of time
yeah,
at the end of the day, whether it's by durability or be like, bam, damn, that shit looks fire. Like that's a toy worthy, like,
yeah,
kind of thing. Like, oh,
yeah. That's my favorite. When I see something that like I want to make something
oof.
that gives me the same feel and reaction to gear that I used to see when I used to watch wrestling when I was little. Like, when Ray came out with the Phantom Halloween Havoc outfit, like I see that and it reminds me of something of when I was a kid. So like I want to make something for someone that can elicit that same kind of reaction for them.
1,000. Would you have something like that? Is there something? I know you made some stuff that made to action figure, but is there something that you're like, damn?
I think recently, I think my favorite piece that I've made recently is Seth's lace from Mania when he wrestled Cody.
Mhm.
Like I just think that right there is it's one of those I maybe not toot my own horn, but I feel like it's gonna be a memorable piece of gear that people
Yeah,
will
for
look
him.
back and be like, oh, that's that set of gear where Seth's look went from wrestling to
Yeah.
a
I,
whole
I
other
would say it
level.
would be like his shield gear, then this one set of gear that he had that was like black and green.
Yeah,
And then this one would
yeah,
be that version of the new era.
yeah.
Did you do all of his?
Not all of it. Not like for a while it was someone else. I started taking over. I forget when. Um, maybe for like what is it? 2024 right now? Maybe about
Or I say that all the
17.
time.
Yeah, maybe about
17?
17 is when I started taking over for his stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
It's
ones I made for him was the Chicago Bulls Rollins, like that Jordan 23 look.
Yeah.
I think it was for Survivor Series, and I made the I made his vest look like a Jordan jersey.
That's cool. That's dope.
Mm.
Even though he's an Iowa boy.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess he doesn't have a team though, so
Well, yeah. I mean, Davenport's close enough to Chicago.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I guess that could be. I guess
Yeah, all
it
right,
could be.
but speaking of close, the second movie, I don't know how close the story was to the first one. Like this is a completely different take on like horror and
Yeah.
but it's just as nutty. Like I want to know what goes through these people's brains when they decide to make, essentially it's a short film.
Yeah. So if you look at the credits again, I'm very like I look at all that shit right before we start. They're
Mhm.
actually titled. I don't
Yeah.
remember what the titles
This
are.
the first one was called Crossed Out.
So, oh yeah,
Brother.
something like
The
that.
second one was called The Scum Lord.
The Scumlord, yeah.
Yeah.
And this was written by different people. So
Yeah.
even though the whole movie was written by essentially one person or directed by one person,
Yeah.
each story has a different person or team. And this one, this one,
Wait. So did you have a favorite of the three?
I'm trying to think. Hold on, wait. What was the last one?
The last
This
one,
one,
the last one was the rapping one. I forget what the name of it was, but
oh yeah.
with
Ooh,
Aries Spears. See,
this one might have been my favorite just because it was like so randomly funny, and at the end, I was just like, I think that's when my kids were like, I think I'm good, Dad.
oh, and Snoop shot the dog.
Oh yeah, but he was like, no dogs in the house except for the fucking himself.
You had the cholo midget with him.
Yo, he was like, I gotta go.
Bro.
He was like, right now, I
Yeah,
gotta go.
Just then go then.
All right. Bleh. All in the fucking punch that everybody was drinking and shit. Is he trying to be the new mini me? I'm for it. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, but okay, so but this story was about a kid who was taking over his father's. I guess
Estate.
it was like it was supposed to be his estate, but I guess it was like a halfway, not a halfway house, but a house where he would like help care for vets that he was
Yeah.
in Vietnam with, and so for his son was kind of like spoiled. So in order for him to take over everything, he had to spend a year with these vets to kind of learn honor and respect and stuff like that. Bruh, this is the same dude that plays fucking Black Bolt in did you see Doctor Strange?
You're right, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that until you said it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He was just like outstruck by everybody else. But yeah, you're right. That is
Yeah.
the same dude.
Yeah, because I had him, had Ernie Hudson, who was in The
Yeah.
Crow and Ghostbusters and shit. Like when your agent gives you this thing and says, "Hey, here's the script," you know,
I'll
what you
take
want
it.
to do?
I'll
Do you
take
do it? Yeah. Do you do it because you're not getting
I'll
any
take it.
jobs?
I'll take it.
I mean, I would.
Yeah. No, he took it because one, he was like, "Oh, I got a lot of talking lines. Let me show
Yeah.
that I could fucking still do this shit." And
Yeah.
then nobody still watches it except for me and you.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, so the story is the kid's trying to like take over, but he's still like a rude ass little motherfucker. And then,
No, he tries to con them too. Like, yo, all the money that my dad was subsidizing, I'm
yeah,
cutting fucking groceries, the nurse,
yeah.
like,
Not allowing the guy to get a doctor. Nothing.
yeah, it's like some
Meanwhile,
bullshit like
yeah,
Carney shit, bro.
yeah.
Some
Meanwhile,
bullshit.
they're eating caviar.
Straight caviar, bro. No, feeding the dog
Eating dog
caviar.
caviar.
Yeah, they're not even eating that shit
Yeah,
until later, but fucking yeah, and then I think after homie just gets upset after
yeah.
one point, after seeing that the
After,
dog was eating caviar
yeah,
and
after
he
seeing
was
the dog was eating
dying
caviar,
downstairs.
his boy was dying. Then they found the caviar, but they found that the nurse, his body was in there. The one that the lady that made the cake that was clearly just styrofoam, because
It was, bro. It
she,
was so bad. They couldn't even get a cake. They were like, fuck it. We
she
can't make
carried
it,
it
man.
over. She carried it over. I'm like, that cake's a little too light for her to be handling it like that.
Yeah. And then when they cut it, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. She was kind of like Jack though. Like
yeah.
she looked like she was like
Listen,
ready to go.
bro,
But
listen, I've carried cakes before, man. You not being that, that liberal with holding a cake. You being real careful.
shit. I don't know. Maybe she got them big ass hands, them pan hands.
What would you do? What would you do if you were gonna inherit your dad's money, but in order to do that, you had to spend a year learning life lessons?
I mean, if I was a piece of shit, I'd probably honestly do the same thing as him. But if it was me, I mean, not as him, like I wouldn't do it as extreme as this dude. But like, uh, I mean, right now, like if it was me, I would love it. But being him young, single, well, not even single, he had that chick with him.
Yeah,
Um, he was just trying to take advantage. Also
yeah,
knowing that these motherfuckers were old as shit. What were they gonna do? Where were they gonna go?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I feel like if I had that opportunity, like, I mean, I'm like you. I'm someone who loves learning.
hmm,
Anything that can lead to personal growth is something I'm very into. So, you want me to go spend, some time learning from some people who I may not have ever had any like experience being around this kind of environment in order to, get some money. I'll probably do that. I'll probably do that without even getting the money. Just be like, hey,
yeah.
as long as you
Yeah.
pay, you want to pay me to go stay with these people for a while. Hell yeah.
I mean, pay for the fucking I don't want to pay for anything. Like pay for you asking me to do, I'll do it. But I don't
Where's
wanna-
where's a place you'd want to go? Just like if you could just leave, right now and just go somewhere for like a month and be like, I need to just go here just to experience something different. Like, where would you want to go?
bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, Germany. There's something about Germany that I've always been attracted to, like when I was younger, that I don't know. Like as negative, like as much negative history it has, I feel like there's a lot of good to learn because those are the type of people, like again, that've gone through so much. Like if they the Rocky line, if they could
Yeah.
change, then fucking I want to know, what that now atmosphere is and their art and their culture and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I
You know,
like the language. I just like
yeah,
everything about it. And that European life is so different. Like we've been there, so
yeah,
different, so simple
yeah. It's
compared
very
to
it's a lot slower paced,
yeah.
which I
And
don't mind. You
I don't mind. Yeah, I'm a
right,
very
hey, if anyone's listening and you go out to a restaurant in the UK, just be prepared. Your check ain't gonna come for like an hour and a half because they
yeah.
don't check on y'all. They just let you drink or do whatever and just sit and relax.
Just
Right.
relax. Yeah.
It's weird. Like it's when I think about like Germany or a lot of like, Eastern European countries, stuff like that, for some reason in my brain, I think small villages.
Mm.
So when I pulled up in Germany and this is sprawling metropolis, I'm like, this is a lot more modern and new than my brain was, thinking. I don't know why. I just think small, like little village with sheep running around or some shit.
Yeah, and I had the opposite experience when recently visited Poland and landed, and it was still such like blast in the past, bro.
Really?
Stuck in the 40s, 50s. Like it was very. I didn't ever see a metropolis like atmosphere of like just buildings. I saw
Yeah.
villages, little houses, and I mean there was a Walmart, like little Target, but nothing
Fucked up.
compared to
That's fucked up. You
yeah,
got an old village state
yeah.
pass. You still got
Hey,
Walmart.
but it wasn't. It didn't. It just said Walmart, but it didn't feel like a Walmart and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Do you
Still,
prefer that life? Would you prefer that life over city life? I always ask
uh,
people that. I always ask
that's
people
why
that.
I left New Jersey. That's why I left New Jersey. You see where I live, bro. I live in the boonies.
Yeah,
I'm close enough, but far enough that I could still get to where I need to go
yeah,
within
yeah,
30, 40 minutes. I don't mind,
yeah,
you know, that kind of drive.
yeah.
But
I
once I
like,
start getting close to an hour, my ass starts panicking where I'm like
yeah,
teleportation. Where is it? Come on, get me here now.
yeah. I like a small town. I like the idea of a small town with a nice little like close knit like town center,
Yeah.
but being within like a half hour of a city.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I still like to go. I still like to go enjoy things, But
And I
honestly,
like supporting small businesses, mom and
yeah,
pop shops, mom and pop like pizza shops and
yeah,
diners and stuff like that. That's where it's at. It's very easy to get lost in, oh, let's go get something quick or let's do, you know,
yeah.
let's sit down.
Bro, I feel like us watching this movie was like supporting a small business because
I was
what's
did you ever check the Rotten Tomato scores on this? I didn't even
no,
check.
no, I didn't.
I think
I
I
just
saw
thought I'm like, man,
11%.
I don't know if there's enough fucking reviews for it to even land on Rotten Tomatoes,
I'm gonna leave one for me and one for you.
bro. Yeah, I'd say if I had to leave a review right now, I'd be like, yo, watch this movie and enjoy it. Just turn your brain off and enjoy it,
Yeah.
bro. Because I mean, like, okay, so the second story, like, the kills in this, they force fed the girl caviar.
Through a vacuum. Like a reverse, they put that bitch on reverse and was
Yeah, it
like
was like,
stuffing it directly to her stomach. She already looked pregnant. First of all, when the dude walked in the wheelchair, like, oh, what the fuck's happening? And I was confused. I was like, damn, did they knock her up that quick? Like,
I was thinking, I was like, are they gonna rape her? Like, what's going on right now?
I thought they might have did it already
Yeah.
because she wasn't pregnant
Hmm.
an hour ago, and now
Yeah.
you know, and then when homie's like, pick you or her,
Yeah.
and of course he's not gonna pick him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's
I
like,
think
all right,
but that's the thing, right? Because it was the same thing, kind of like in that
a
first story.
choice.
Like, yeah, you get that choice of like, are you gonna do right or are you gonna just still be the same? And I think maybe that was the through line with these movies.
And now it makes sense because like I said, his story was he did pick the right choice
Yeah,
and gave his sister back her life, but he remained dead, but ended up being that servant to whoever that person or thing was. I don't want to say devil, but like spawn-like character.
Yeah.
And but I also feel like even though that's the power and idea that he's spreading, a lot of people are fucking actually dying.
Yeah.
So is it actually good that he's doing? Like, what are we? I mean, these people that are dying are, I guess, essentially bad people.
Yeah, they're all kind
But
of pieces, like the scum of the earth, kind of.
yeah, right. But
So,
still,
I don't wish death on anyone, but like
yeah,
at the same time, like it's one of those things where like you're kind of rooting for the villain because of his victims are the kind of people that are like victimizing the people around you.
Mhm.
That's like this weird dichotomy to be caught in. Like I don't want to see someone die, but you a piece of shit. I think you deserve it.
yeah. It's like if you do, I mean, like I'm not gonna say I want you to die, but if it happens, like,
Yeah.
sorry, I guess. Like,
I wouldn't do it, but when he jumped on the girl on the bed and then they started smothering her, it was so like
well,
why
I
did
was confused. I was like, damn, is this how she really is gonna go? And
they, yeah,
then
'cause
next thing you know, she gets found in the
freezer.
caviar freezer. And I'm like, damn, that was fucking.
Bro, when
And
they
I was like, she could have got off them, bro. She could
yeah,
have been like mule kick,
yeah.
fucking monkey flip that dude.
But that was okay. So first of all, that was a light skinned black girl, and then after she dies, the white girl puts on the robe and goes running out the house, and they just think it's her that left.
Bro,
And
I was
she
like,
throws the robe away at the trash can in front of the house.
now my question is, why didn't anybody ever, well, no, because I guess her leaving
Yeah,
indicated that she left.
yeah.
But when homie finds her, he was like already fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
what was he gonna do with the caviar? Was he just gonna eat it, or was he just looking for the food?
No, I
And
don't
he,
know. I think they were just looking for food because, like you said, they cut the grocery budget. They did all this stuff, so they were just looking for some food to eat because they didn't have enough.
they just bought condiments. Did you see when the chick opened the door? It's
Mhm.
just like ketchup, and she grabs it. Or no, she grabs like an apple or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
the only edible thing there that
Uh,
they had. What was the budget? Fucking $5.
I don't.
$5, bro. An
But
apple.
the thing, okay, so after they killed the guy and the girl, I thought the movie was over. But that's when Snoop Dogg shows up and shoots the dog, and I was wondering like
At the
what was
party.
that all about?
Well, he said it. He was like, "Yo, uh, what would he say? He's like, there's no dogs allowed in the house except for the fucking
Yeah,
the Snoop one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I forget exactly what he called himself, but
yeah.
I was like, it made sense to me. But
Yeah,
you
no,
ain't had to show it. I mean, it wasn't crazy. It was cheesy.
yeah.
But fucking that dog exploded, bro. Like, what
Yeah.
was the gun that he used? Like,
I know. I was like, I expected him to pick up like a piece of the dog after, but he kind of just like put the gun down. And
yeah, you saw him. He
died.
put it like bad at it, and he's like, okay, put it down.
Yeah.
Like,
Ugh.
uh,
All right, what about the third movie? The third movie again. To me, I think the third movie was probably the strongest of the three.
yeah, I thought it was the strongest. They had stronger characters
Yeah.
until the dude died at the end. I thought everything was like legit. Like I was like, damn, this shit is kind of real. Like when is it gonna hit? And
Yeah.
then it hit me when the dude came back from the dead with that fucking stellar Grammy Award winning makeup. Where I was like, you just got shot in the head, bro. Why all
Who was the girl in WWE that had the thing on her face?
oh my God, what was her name? I'm looking,
Jillian
Jillian Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what happened? Like, did you like okay, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, but the story in this one is you got one guy who had dreams of being a rapper, and he linked up with a friend who they became big together, but it was essentially like the kid sold his soul to the devil in order to become big, and so
So what happens in real life? Keep going.
yeah, so then his in order to try to get good publicity and all that shit, his friend ends up dying in a botched robbery, and so that publicity ends up skyrocketing his fame. But in doing so, you start to realize, oh, there was some stuff going on behind the scenes
Shady.
that it might not have been a botched robbery in the first place, and essentially the guys, I guess he was supposed to do better as an artist, but he just kept being his egotistical piece of shit self. So everybody they came back for, the promises that he made. I don't know. That one felt the most like, as far as story wise, it felt like the one I could connect to the most, because you see it nowadays. You see people who will sell their friends out in order for a better opportunity, and then when they get that opportunity, all those people that had their back are gone, and they're just stuck with yes people around them.
Yes, people around them. That's exactly it. I feel like a lot of us try to do everything alone, and we forget that the best, like the most successful whatever,
Yeah,
is a group of people, a team. So
yeah,
it's like us fighting against a team if we're trying to do it alone.
yeah,
And whenever, for me personally, if I could have and help a friend out in any way so that way they can do better, like of course I'm gonna do it, you know. But like you said, and in this movie showed or this segment, a lot of backstabbing, a lot
yeah,
of yes to your face, but behind you, totally like stabbing you in the back for their
yeah.
success. And for the most part, it always, and yeah, 100% always comes around, you
Now let
know?
me ask you a question. Do you, when someone is like that, when someone's a taker and they've gotten, they've progressed in life because of the help you've given them, and then they turn around and, like, kind of sell you out, push you to the side, whatever. Like, do you blame people like that for those kind of, like, because I feel like sometimes that, like, for lack of a better term, the drunkenness of success, like, clouds a person's
Yeah.
judgment. I feel like sometimes it's like, I don't know. It sucks when people are like that, but I almost don't blame them, because I'm like,
That's what I'm saying.
it fucking happens sometimes.
Yeah, I can't blame them. That's their personality. I can only blame them if I let it affect me and
Yeah,
how I feel and how I function, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because at the end of the day, that was the whole idea of helping you out to be successful. And,
yeah,
if you don't, if I'm no longer in the picture, you see no value in me, but I know you'll come back, at
yeah,
the end
yeah,
of the day.
yeah. I
It
think for
takes
me,
like,
well, I think for me also, it's like, you gotta. I think it speaks a lot to a person when, if they offer that help, you know, in hopes of going along for the ride, or if they're just offering that help because they truly want to help out.
yeah,
'Cause I think if someone's going for, like, offering that help, like, hoping to go along for the ride, then I'm sorry, you kind of deserve to get left behind, because you shouldn't be.
yeah.
I don't think you should be doing that. I think if you're gonna help someone out, you should do it because you truly just want to see them succeed. And if they succeed and you're not there, then you got to be okay with that, because that's what you wanted in the first place.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like you said, not to take it as personal.
Yeah,
And with the idea is we all have lives. We're not all part of, yeah, I mean, we're all part of each other's lives, but we're not in each other's lives every day. And
yeah,
we got to make those like decisions. So,
yeah, yeah,
but we've experienced that. Close friends, fucking shit happens,
yeah,
no longer there.
yeah,
And it's not good or it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. And we just move on,
yeah, yeah.
If as long as there's no ill will where there's like irreversible damage,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's always a possibility of rekindling any type of friendship. But
yeah,
in the moment that I live in, the present, that's all I can worry about. Just worry
yeah.
about the present. I'm not gonna worry about the past, the future. Like I'm just gonna stress myself out. I'm already
Exactly.
stressed out.
Exactly. I got too much on my plate already to worry about, like, how anyone else is reacting, or how anyone feels about, some shit from back in the day. I'm just like,
Yeah,
all right, this is what's going on right now. I'm gonna react or act the way I act. And, if circumstances, develop, and, personalities realign, then so be it. But it's not something you gotta concern yourself with, because if you're just sitting there, all you're thinking about is the past and the shit that, could have happened, you're missing every opportunity that's coming in front of you at the moment.
every second, every minute you thinking is like the other day I had an experience that like really pissed me off and I had to just feel it. Like I'm not one to feel a lot, but like in that moment, I was like, you know what? For me to get over this quick, I have to feel it. So it's just like kind of one of those things where kind of just freaked out. Went in my garage, make sure nobody was home. All my kids were,
Yeah.
at school, and just had that fucking scream moment,
Yeah.
yell, swing a chair at Bob, the fucking punching bag, swing the shit out of that motherfucker. His neck was like here for a second. Swung at him until I was blown up and yelled one
Yeah.
more time. And then I felt it. I was like, okay, I felt mad and
Yeah.
anger. Let me move forward. Now what can I do to fucking
Yeah.
fix whatever the issue is? You know.
It's weird. Like you bring up feeling it. Like I remember one, I think it was my first girlfriend back when I was like 19, 20. Yeah, I was a late start.
1920s.
I
Damn,
was
how
a
old
late
are you?
starter, bro. I was a late starter. But nah, so there was this girl, like, everybody was telling me, oh, she's not good, she's bad for you, like she's doing some shit on the side, whatever, like just fucking like you need to get out of that. And for me, it was like I could see it, but I didn't feel it on the inside. So
Yeah.
I felt like if I like broke up with her at that point, I wouldn't feel right because I feel like would be breaking up with her because everyone told me to. So I had to wait until I got to a point where I was like, all right, now I feel it. So now I can actually let it go and just be okay with it because
Yeah.
now it's like, all right, now I'm ready to move on. I can't move on because someone told me to move on. I gotta be there myself. I gotta feel it. And
Yeah.
if it meant, being in a position where I was, maybe getting looked at weird or like, being treated more mistreated unfairly for a little longer than I should have, so be it, because that's the only way the lessons were gonna fucking really stick,
Yeah. I feel that. I feel as if for me personally, if I don't experience it, then I'm not gonna it's hard for me to learn somebody else's lesson that I
Yeah.
need to learn,
Yeah.
especially if it's the same lesson I need to experience because I need to know how it affects me personally and mentally.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody else's input because it does help me at least prepare for whatever the issue is that I'm embarking. But for the most part, I'm a big believer. I'm a teacher at heart, but I'm a learner also at heart. So I like learning
Yeah.
both good and bad lessons in life. So yeah, I have to experience it. Just like this movie.
Yeah. Speaking of experience, and like, what do you think DDP was
Oh, I
experiencing?
forgot about his ass in this bit. He had no diamond cutter. I was pissed.
He was
No,
actually he was actually a pretty good actor in the movie though.
he was tall as shit compared to everybody. Yeah, he was actually pretty good. He plays the bouncer or
It's like
yeah, I guess
security or something like that.
security for the rapper.
Yeah.
Who he ends up being the dude who in the robbery
Yeah.
shoots him.
Yeah.
And like so he fucking cold-bloodedly, bro, was like blah to the other rapper. And then it was like he said something, and then fucking shot him in the shoulder, which I thought was weird. I was like, damn, why did he shoot him in the shoulder? Like to let him live. But now it made sense at the end
Yeah.
when it comes full circle where they're all in on the gig and
Yeah.
he's the actual shooter with the ski mask.
Yeah. Because Aries Spears' character, which was a little weird, just seeing him with the shaved face and a little beard,
Yeah.
little like fresh faced Aries Spears. But there's this point where he's like, when during that robbery, you showed up, you had your bulletproof vest on. Like, why'd you have it on? He was
I'm
like,
out.
"Why
He
don't you
had it
talk?"
on a VHS tape, bro.
Yeah.
That's some editing on the VHS tape. They fucking highlighted it with some CGI
Yeah.
wired frame wiring or wireframe.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty high tech. I don't know how. I don't know. It is not adding up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean,
That's
like,
just kind of nuts. That.
but
Go
would
ahead.
you like? Could you see yourself, uh, doing that kind of like turning your back on your friends like that, like setting them all up to fail in order for you to progress? Like that's like
Nah,
I
dude.
felt for Aries Spears because he always had the dude's back.
Yeah, that was like the sad part was like homie always had his back and never saw it coming. I
Mhm.
think he was just going in there to grab a drink or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, because the guy said, I think because when we find out it's a setup, he goes, "Oh yeah, let's go in there and grab a drink. Let's party like we used to." He
Yeah.
said, "Yeah." He goes, "Why can't we just go to the studio?" He goes, "No, we got to go in here." So like,
yeah.
it's clearly you're bringing him in there because he felt like he needed to get rid of him in order to move forward.
I honestly I thought if they like tuned up some of the detail, the plot of this one wasn't
Yeah,
actually that bad.
it's almost like the Crow a little bit.
Yeah, almost like The Crow, and then it doesn't give no spoilers, but I saw Beetlejuice and like it kind of reminded me too of the afterlife scene where they're in the office waiting to get checked or whatever. Because like at that moment he's having that intervention with himself.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool. Not with himself, but with the dead rapper.
yeah,
And even though again that stellar Grammy Award winning makeup, I
Yeah.
still don't understand the gunshot head and
I like how he, kept making like little quips to the camera. He goes, man,
oh yeah,
how many times they gonna kill her, bro?
yeah. It was funny because I was like, if I was DDP at that one moment when he walks into the dressing room and the homie's like, you don't see him, but he's like doing some shit, like
Yeah.
trying to make him laugh, or like, I would have died, bro. I would have died in DDP's just standing there like nothing. I'm sure that motherfucker laughed so many times I had to do that take. Like,
Yeah.
but for me personally, I did really enjoy it, DDP in this role. Not too much, but just enough that when I watch Rock movies, I feel like I'm watching The Rock in this.
Yeah.
This one I forgot. Like even though it was DDP, I was like, oh, that's a
Yeah. I can
like
see him. I can see him actually being cast as that.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, he was cast in this movie.
You also had Rebel in there. She played one of the
True.
girls that they opened the door. I was like, is that
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Rewind 10 seconds. Let me see this shit.
bro, they must have been somewhere like, oh, you know what? They got a wrestling shit going on. Let's grab some of these people and bring them in.
DDP, Rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's like in the afterlife, clearly, but would you want to come back and get revenge on the people that wronged you?
Nah, dog. I think that's why people do come back. Yeah. Did I ever tell you my theory of like the white light?
No.
All right. So you know when
Let me take a sip.
yeah, let me take a little sip of that one.
Go on.
All right. So when you're dying, people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh my God, I see the white light."
Mhm.
And die. When you're being born as a baby,
Mhm.
what do you see?
The light.
The white light.
Mhm.
And you're crying because you realize you've been reincarnated because you have unfinished business on Earth. And as you get older to like 3, 4, you start to like, because remember, you can't talk, you can't communicate.
Yeah.
So you can't tell the secrets of like,
Yeah.
I'm reincarnated, I know this, like some boss baby shit. But then like as you get older, like 3 and 4, where you start
Boss
to like
baby.
lose your yeah, that's a good movie. You start to lose your memory of your past life.
Yeah.
And then you start to have this new life. And these deja vus or like these dreams are these visions of your past life to kind of guide you
Yeah.
to like why you're coming back over and over again.
Yeah.
Until that white light is no longer there.
Yeah. I mean, like I've had conversations with people about like, what is the afterlife? Like, is it, where does your energy go? Actually, I had this conversation yesterday where we were talking and we were just saying that like,
where does your
very,
energy go? Oof.
yeah, because very clearly, like, the body when you're talking to a person, you can feel the energy and the life in them. And when a person dies, you look at them and you can just look at them like there's something missing.
Yeah.
That energy, that soul is gone. But where
Yeah.
does that go? Because clearly, like, it's got to be something. Because if it isn't, then you would just look the same, or you would get that same feeling whether the person was dead or alive, right?
Yeah. I mean, energy has to go somewhere. It doesn't just go away. So it has to encapsulate a new soul, a
Yeah.
new body, a new vessel, or whatever. I'm a super big believer in energy, like all of us being energy.
I have a theory about like, you ever notice that you never see like ghosts wearing like Timberlands or Tommy Hilfiger? They're always wearing old shit.
True.
It's my theory is that line to get to that point is really long. So they're just all the modern people that die they're just waiting for their turn. So in about 100 years, you're gonna start seeing ghosts wearing fucking Louis Vuitton and shit.
Shit, I can see that. You ever have a dream where you see your cell phone?
Where I see my cell phone? No. All right, yeah, all right. So you want to speak about a dream? Yeah. So you ever have those? Okay. So this has happened to me 3 times on a plane because I always end up falling asleep with my earbuds in, right? And a bunch of times in my dream, I'll be having a dream and like somehow in the dream, someone will be talking to me, but all I can hear is music. But in the dream, I'll be trying to take my earbuds out to listen to this person, but I still can't hear them. All I hear is music. And like I had this one dream a couple weeks ago where like kept thinking the earbud broke in my ear because all I could hear was music, and I'm in the dream. I'm still going like this, and after a while, I finally woke up. I was like, "Oh no, I'm sleeping. These are my earbuds that I'm listening to." But for a minute, I really thought it was just real life, and like I couldn't hear a person because like all I could
That's
hear.
some
Was
Inception shit, bro, where you're awake, but you're like consciously awake, but you're not, kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
Like you're trying to do something, like your brain is consciously trying to do something in your this realm of dream
yeah,
that you're trying to control. Because like some people are like
yeah,
you can't control your dreams, but in a certain realm, like you can, like kind of like that, where you're trying to take off these earbuds, whether they're there or not.
yeah.
Um,
Well, because like I felt like I knew I was listening to music. It's just if I couldn't understand why every time I took the earbud out, I would still hear the music, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm still in the dream," even though I knew, like I
you
know
ever
the
have
music.
dreams where you know you're dreaming?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like though at those moments, especially the ones where with the music, is when I realize that I'm dreaming, that I know I'm dreaming, is when I wake up.
Mm.
Is that's the moment when I wake up is when I remember that I'm dreaming right now.
I've had dreams where I've known I'm dreaming and
Mhm.
still stayed in the dream for a second
What
before.
was
But
what was
yeah,
that like?
you've made it kind of like made more sense where not shortly after, like 5 minutes. Well, it
Yeah,
seems like 5 minutes.
yeah.
I wake up, boom.
Yeah, it's almost like the minute you know you're dreaming, it's like that tether is pulling you back. Like, all right.
Yeah, yeah. All right, guys, he's on to us. Pull the plug. Do. Come back to the Matrix.
Oh, yeah, bro. I don't know. I mean, dimensions, other dimensions, dreams, like they gotta be. There's gotta be something to them. There's too many. I think that so the reason why I was having that conversation about that dream is because we were talking about like health and like Chinese health because we were watching the what is it the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, and he was doing the cupping on Jaden to
Yeah.
heal his leg.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah. But like that's ancient Chinese like medicine, but they still use it today. Like so there's got to be something about like, blood flow and energy and all that stuff that helps keep the body moving because clearly like I said your body's a machine.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. When I started working out, dude, the whole perception of food changed when it's like it's not food, it's energy.
Yeah.
And it made food so hard for me to enjoy for years,
Yeah.
where I'm like, I don't even know what I like anymore.
Were you
So
eating for fuel versus taste?
exactly, right. And I would still eat like good every
It
once in a while,
jacked,
but
so I mean it worked.
I mean, yeah, right. I appreciate it, but it made it so hard for my kids because I would be like, oh, this, yeah,
Yeah.
daddy's gonna eat this, and but now I found that balance. Thank God, I found that balance that helps me out. But I don't know. I think the THC just hit me smack, got me.
No, I get that. Like, 'cause so like, I don't know. So with food, I view food as art. Like we were talking about art earlier. Like,
Mm,
it's art that's it doesn't last because you make it and it's something that someone can take and digest and like it's a moment they have with it. Because have you had those moments where like you bite into something and you're just like, what the fuck did I just eat?
yeah.
It's transformative in a way where you're like, I never expected this flavor or this experience to hit me right now, but it fundamentally changed the way I view like food and what food could be.
No food. I mean, I'm Latino, so I mean, I'm used to all this seasoning. So
Yeah.
if it doesn't, if I see some bland chicken, some white chicken, bro, I'm probably not gonna eat that shit. I needed to add some adobo, sazon, garlic pepper. Give me all of it. And so yeah, the flavor definitely has to hit. And of course, when you look at it, the presentation has to look
Yeah.
like you do want, like almost like you don't want to eat it because
Yeah.
it's so beautiful and like artistically beautiful and appetizing looking,
Yeah.
but it has to match the taste. So
Well,
is there something that you've bought like or ordered that looks good but like tastes like shit, or the other way, like you're like, oh, I don't know, this looks
so there was this one time I was in this restaurant in Manhattan and they had this I got this cold it was like a cold lobster dish. So it had lobster, whatever, but it had some kind of cheese. I think it was like ricotta or some kind of cheese with it.
Mm.
And there was only two of them in there. These two little like sticks, and they were pickled. And then I ate it, and literally, my mind just
Like
exploded. I was
in a
like,
good way.
yeah, I was like, whatever this little pickle thing was, just took the flavor from here, like shot it up.
Really?
Like, and I never expected it. So then when the waitress came back, we were like, hey, what was that little pickle thing? Because like if it literally made the entire dish like go to 100. And they were like, oh, that's pickled eggplant. And I was like, I ain't never thought in my life about pickling an eggplant.
Hey, you
But the
pickle
fact
anything,
that
I guess.
yeah,
Shit.
the fact that someone like did that and knew that that was gonna enhance the flavor of the cheese and the lobster, like that's where I was like, oh, like there's
So what was it? Was it just like mixed or like what was the like how was the presentation? Like you
so the
said cheese
president.
lobster.
So it had like pieces of lobster spread on a little plate like this, and then you had like a little dollop of cheese here, whatever,
Mm.
a couple other pieces of veggies, and then it had two little pieces of the pickled eggplant, and you kind of just pick up little pieces, and you could taste like the lobster with the cheese, you could taste the lobster with this other piece of vegetable, and you get like different flavor profiles
Mm.
every time you mix something with it. And then when I had it with that pickle thing, like everything just all of a sudden shot up.
Ah.
You seen Ratatouille?
Yeah.
When he
I had it.
when he is cooking the fucking mushroom on the roof and the
Yeah,
light
yeah,
hits
yeah.
it, same thing. Like it just that cooking of the vegetable for him made the flavor explode, and that's what happened there.
Mm.
I love I,
Pickled eggplant. Yeah,
yeah.
I would never have even thought.
Yeah, I
Pick-
always get like, I've seen like, eggplant, like, was it like eggplant parmesan or some kind of cutlet or some shit?
Yeah, I've had eggplant parmesan before. That should trick me because I'm thinking it's like chicken parmesan for a second.
Yeah.
And then you realize it. I mean, it kind of looks and tastes the same-ish, but like not the same-ish
Yeah.
too at the same time.
Well, I mean, okay, well, that's, I mean, as you can see with the movie, like, we really enjoyed it. And it's a fun movie. You don't take it too seriously, but it can open up some introspective thoughts. So with that being said, what made you put on a mask? Just out of curiosity, because I feel like that mask is very representative of you as a person.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think there was two things. Personality wise, I definitely, and I've never been a cat person until probably 2010. No, probably 2013. When I got my first cat down here, my fucking family begged me.
Yeah.
And just realized that damn, our personalities are very similar, at least mine. When I want to be loved, I'll find love,
Yeah.
bother my kids and shit. And then when I want to be on my own, I want to be on my own, like very independent. And I do admire also like the big cats.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite animals are primates, gorillas, and chimpanzees and stuff like that. But I do admire the characteristics and attributes that like you see from the big cats and just cats in general.
Have you seen
And
any Florida Panthers in person?
hell no.
No?
Like
Bro, I was out in Zephyr Hills or Dade City. I was going over to Screamageddon one year, and like as I was driving, it was like sunset, whatever. I'm driving. I seen something crossing the street, and I just thought it was like a big ass like coyote or some shit.
nope.
And I was like, oh no, that was a fucking panther. I was like, God
Yeah,
damn.
dude. Like that's the only thing about Florida. It's not the hurricanes. It's the alligators and the fucking panthers, the coyotes. I got coyotes in this bitch.
Yeah.
Like what?
Dude, there's a lot of
Sharks
wildlife
around
there.
this hole. Like was that?
There's a lot of wildlife in Florida. It's
Yeah,
dense as
snakes.
shit.
Like
Yeah.
what the fuck? I came here to get away from crime and shit. I feel like I got in the forest crime, the
Like
jungle
zoo-
crime and
like
shit.
Zootopia.
The Zootopia, yeah. I'm in the zoo hood and shit.
Yeah, well, okay, so what? Here's a big question. I mean, maybe you're like me, but what made you start making your own gear?
Man,
Like,
well,
for me, it was to save money.
it's same. Like, I was, probably the same around the same age, 16, 17 when we first started.
Yeah.
And back in the early 2000s, gear makers were almost damn near impossible unless you're doing Mr. Wrestling or Easy Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. All the high spots.
Yeah. Highest with OVW Striker.
Yeah, Lucha.
Yeah.
And so my first set was kind of given to me in a carny way where they're like, oh, here's your first set. And I'm like, oh, cool. And they're like, all right, you owe me like this much. I'm like, damn. Like you don't know how it works until
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
happens, right? So I was like, all right, whatever. And then when it came time for my next set, when I was just like, oh, I want a new mask, or like new colors, uh, I didn't know that process. So MySpace at the time, fucking, I hit up a dude that was recommended. And again, I think I was 17 and the dude was like $700.
Yeah.
Like, because again, I was working for Chikara and I don't know if he thought like we had money or I had money, but I was 17 and I know I did not have money. I did have the money that I had saved, but it wasn't for me to like blow it all at once too,
Yeah.
you know? So I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna take $500, go to the local fucking fabric store, buy a sewing machine for 100
Yeah.
or whatever, which at that time too was
Yeah. It's a
100
lot of
bucks
money.
for like
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of money, goddamn. And then I was like, I'll buy some like black and gold fabric and let me see what happens. So I ended up making a pair of tights with the lucha knee pads, like
Yeah.
gold lucha knee pads, and then I made a gold trunks. I thought, I mean, back then they were fucking fire, bro. Like old
Yeah.
school lucha look. Like I even wrestled Chris Hero in them
Yeah.
in mass for a Jakar show. But looking back at it now,
Bro.
damn,
Bro.
that shit was dusty.
Bro. I was watching this video and I had a pair of shorts because I used to do like the Sabu look
Yeah.
with the pants tucked in. I was like, oh, let me switch the shorts. So I just took a pair of my Sabu pants, cut them into shorts, but I made this black dragon that went on the side, and I sewed it on. I was like, yo, that shit's dope as fuck. I was like,
Fire dog.
yeah. Now I look back, I'm like, man, that is the most fucking cheap, fucking swap meet looking pair of tights I've ever seen.
Do
in
you
my
still
life.
have it?
Somewhere. I have a bin somewhere with like all old fabric, but like some of my old tights and shit, like like I would use like the vinyl and stuff like that. That's starting to peel, so
Oh
like
yeah.
the stuff just gets all it's disintegrating. I need to take better care of that
Using
shit.
that Mexican vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3D one. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm using that on someone right now. Actually,
Ah, see, it's as long as it's good, you know that I feel lately, at least in the last 10 years, that specific piece of fabric, they've gotten thinner. So it's made it a little bit harder to use or like,
yeah,
or at least because you want to use it for a lot of things. It looks so cool.
yeah.
But I feel like the durability sometimes starts to like wear and tear quick.
Yeah, well, it's weird because like sometimes you'll order let's say your black vinyl from a place and it comes out, it's perfect. Then
Yeah.
you order it again from the same place and they come, you're like, man, this bolt is like it's terrible. Like,
Yeah.
just,
I hate that shit. Because then it makes me question. I'm like, is this the same material? Is this
yeah,
the same website? And you start panic looking, and like
hmm
looking at your emails and stuff.
yeah,
Waste more time than it really is. Because the answer is yes, it is the same.
yeah. It's just you don't realize like, hey, like as the bolt goes, like every new bolt's different. You got to test them all out. Which
Yeah.
sucks, you know. But that's why I like
I
being
hate
able to
that.
buy it in
I
person.
hate that when you fucking find a piece of fabric that you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get that. That looks so cool. And you get it and you're like, oh man, it's so thin or it doesn't stretch as much.
Bro, I was when I did the Cleveland Brown stuff for Logan, and I had ordered this brown like crocodile print, and I was like, oh, this is fucking perfect. It's gonna be a good, nice deep brown that I can lay on the other brown, so I get some dimension in it. That shit came in. It was so bad that like it took forever to just sew on it, and like I just had to use it minimally because I was like, if I keep using this, it's gonna take like an extra 3 days or so.
Was it just hard to sew on?
It was like sticky, it had like a sticky like texture to it, so that if you tried to sew it, like it would just the friction
stuck.
would slide.
Yeah.
It would gunk up my needles. It was bad.
Mm.
Yeah,
I know for like my machine that I make sneakers with,
yeah,
that'll go through almost anything. But I
yeah,
tried a crocodile skin that somebody gave me like a piece of, and that was like so thick. But then
yeah,
compare that to a python skin, bro. That is like super thin. That almost like rips depending on
yeah,
what kind of needle you're using. So you have
yeah,
to like back it with like a thin piece of leather or something like that.
yeah. It's
Um,
all those little tricks that you need to use. Like I try to tell people all the time, like, hey, if you're making stuff for girls, use thinner fabric. It'll ride their body better, their curves, it'll look nice. Some people try to use like the same like super stretch on a
Yeah.
girl. And I'm like, it's too thick. It's gonna squeeze them in. You want a girl's curves to be highlighted, and if you use anything too thick, it squares them out.
And then squishes them in, gives them that muffin top. They don't like it. They yell at you, and you're like, come on. Cállate, no me grites, please.
Oh, all right. Well, that's the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. It's your boy Sarat, aka Makazi. Lince, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Man, go check out my website, luchalit.com. That's all my socials on there. It's the easiest place to look up everything Lucha Lit, Lince, Dorado.
All right. Well, yeah, check us out online on YouTube at SC Movie Therapy or on Instagram now. I'm starting up a TikTok soon, hopefully, so I can post all my clips on there. I don't want a TikTok, but it's for business. So don't send me any other crap because I'm not going to watch it. Anyways, yeah. All right. Well, that's the latest episode. Next week, hopefully Chris will be back, but if not, we will have another guest host. But until then, catch y'all later.
I'm a warrior.